So as I promised on the last video, today in this video we are going to learn how we can adopt our existing two-node workflow that only had access to previously trained data in the LLM but no real-time data. We are going to adapt that two-node workflow and make it capable of fetching real-time information and give us output with real-time information. So let's get started. So before we begin, let's do a rewind of what we have learned on the previous video. So on the previous video, we went to Google AI Studio and asked the LLM using system prompt that you do not generate generic responses, but please generate this kind of specific responses. What was our example? That if we give a country name, you have to only output the name of the capital city of that country. So then when we were giving the input as USA, it was giving the output as Washington DC. Similarly for UK, it was giving London, and India, it was giving New Delhi. Now, after that, what we have done, we have created another workflow where we have again customized the system instruction and told it that once you receive a city name, you have to get the longitude and the latitude of the city, and you have to print that. And it was doing it absolutely perfectly. So now you need to understand how those two workflow worked. Those two workflow had only information available to them that was trained. Now we want to adopt the workflow to use real-time information. So what is going to be the real-time information? Now, after combining those two workflow, we need to implement an AI agent inside that. What that AI agent would do? The job of the AI agent would be to grab those longitude and latitude, and it would do some publicly available API calls, and it would fetch the current weather of that particular city, and it would show it to the user. So how the whole workflow would work, including the agent, the user would only enter the country name. The workflow would go, first it will fetch the capital city of that country. Second, it will go ahead and find out the longitude and latitude of the city. And third, using the AI agent, we would be fetching the current weather of that particular city. So let's get started. So as we discussed before, now we have to give it a real-time capability of finding out the weather of a particular city using its lat long. We have found the latitude and longitude already. Now using this lat and long, we need to create some kind of mechanism by which we can fetch the real-time weather. So for that, what we can do is we can go to a website called Open-Meteo.com, and they have some free to use API. So I'm not going to create any API key there. I'll just go to my code editor and I'll just tell it, okay, you go ahead and create a Open-Meteor Python file where there will be one function which would take lat and long of a particular city and would give me the weather details. That's it, and keep the weather details minimum. Okay, so now it has successfully created a function where we can provide the latitude and longitude of a particular place, and it would fetch the temperature, how it feels like, the humidity, precipitation, how the weather would look like, what are the wind speed, wind direction, and the location. So now, first of all, we would, I have already run it, but we would be again running the Python file to check if the details are coming correctly. And we have hard coded a particular latitude and longitude over here. So we would just be running the Python file to check if everything is working fine. Yes. So it has given us the location, the temperature, and everything is working fine. Now our agent integration comes into the picture. So we already have these inputs, the lat and the long, coming from our AI workflow. Now we want to fetch or put that AI workflow's output to this function and grab the real-time information, and then again send the output that this agent has returned to the LLM to parse the output and give the ultimate output back to the user. So let's imagine it this way. So on the first node, the AI workflow is actually taking the country name, fetching the capital city. Done. The second stage is it is taking the city name and fetching its latitude and longitude. On the third level, it will supply those latitude and longitude data to this particular function, which we would call it as a tool. So this function would be called as a tool from now on, and that would give us the actual output, data output that we need to present to the user. So let's do this. So now again we would be vibe coding everything. I would go back to the workflow file again. I'll open a new tab. Here I would write, please use the weather fetch function after the second workflow as a tool call. So this is a very important thing. So any functions that you are introducing in a LLM call, they are referred as tool calls. So we are saying that as a tool call, it will take the lat and long as input and output the current weather data. Now let's run it and let's see what happens. Okay, so our fully integrated AI workflow with AI agent, it's done right now, and the major thing is it is completely vibe coded. I have not written any single line of code. Now let's see how it is working. So we would be running the Python file now. Let's run it. So it should behave exactly like how it was behaving before. It will ask you for the country name, then it will find out the capital, and then the coordinates of the capital city, and after that it will run that function using those coordinates that it had just found. So let's run it. It is asking us to provide a country name, so let's give USA. Now it is fetching the capital city. It has found the capital city, Washington DC. Now it is fetching out the coordinates from its previous information, and then it has found out it has made the API call and found what is the current weather like. So temperature is 25 degree, precipitation, wind speed is 6.5 kilometer, and direction, everything is there. Let's try another one. Yes, I'd like to try another one. Let's do India, and from its previously trained information, it is finding out that okay, New Delhi is the capital, and then it is finding out the coordinates. It has found out, making the API call, and here is how the weather looks like in Delhi. So I hope that this video has given you some value to understand how AI workflows and how AI agents work. And this was a very preliminary information, I would say, to get started. But I would actually request any kind of software engineer or any AI enthusiast to start building things using especially AI Studio, because it's free. There is a big playground. There are many resources available online, and you would do not need to write the code yourself. Any non-technical person, if you find any difficulty running this kind of workflow, please get in touch with me, comment down below. I would be definitely trying to help you. Thank you guys. That's it for today, and see you on the next one.